Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Yo, Joe! Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Watts and Joe's, your classic Transformers and G.I. Joe podcast. I am Phil, back with you again to talk more of the classic characters we love from the 80s, Transformers and G.I. Joe. Starting with their Marvel Comics appearances and moving forward from there. So back now, since we're going in order of publication, yes, back at more G.I. Joe this time. This time, G.I. Joe Real American Hero 11 through 20. So, like I said last time in the first episode, yes, the first 3-4 episodes, are going to be kind of heavy. So, let's jump into them because get some good issues here. All right. And again, as always, remember, you can always send me feedback. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on these, all you longtime fans, or if you discovered these for the first time, because if you haven't heard the news, I believe we're getting omnibuses of all the classic the Marvel Transformers and G.I. Joe series coming out here soon. I believe G.I. Joe might be by the end of the year and Transformers early next year. So, yes, if you discover these for the first time, send in your thoughts. All right, so let's get started with G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, number 11 from May 1983, The Pipeline Ploy. Writer, of course, the great Larry Hama, penciler Mike Vosberg, inker John D. Agostino, colorist Christy Sheely, and letterer Rick Parker. All right. This one, the Joes are in Alaska following a group of Cobras who are transporting double-walled steel canisters. They split up to pursue the Cobras, but are ambushed, and some of the canisters break, releasing a new toxin that gives them only 6 hours to live. The Joes manage to overpower the Cobras, but they are still in a difficult situation. Meanwhile, Snake Eyes and his team board the Battle Bear and neutralize the RPG team and go after the other Hiss tanks. The Joes call for backup, but General Flag declines to send a quarantine team. The Joes eventually track the Cobras to a nuclear power plant and engage them in a battle. The Cobras steal the plutonium from the plant, but the Joes manage to get it back. Doc reveals that he tricked the Cobras by giving them tetanus boosters instead of the antidote, and everyone has a laugh. Oh, they're dead. All right. Again, good issue. We're kind of getting, as I said last time, we're kind of getting more into Larry Hama's original take on G.I. Joe more than the, oh, hey, let's sell some toys. But this one's still almost kind of a cut and dried, like a, oh, hey, let's tell a G.I. Joe military story. All right. But we get some the first appearance of some new Joes like Airborne, Doc, and Gung-Ho. Everyone knows Gung-Ho, Snow Job, and Wild Bill, of course. Wild Bill, who will, some of these characters show up and then they show up once or twice because there's so many Joes. But yeah, Wild Bill will continue to show up here for a while. Gung-Ho, I believe, also. So yeah, pretty good story. I mean, pretty good action story, but in a few issues here, as I'm about to tell you, yeah, we're gonna get some ongoing plots. Again, a lot of these are quick one and dones, but yeah, we're about to soon get into some ongoing story territory that covers spans of issues. So, great cover here by Bob Camp. I wish I'd had these better prepared, but all right. But yes. The Viper Glider, first appearance of that, and the Polar Battle Bear Snowmobile, of course, and the Falcon Glider. So, and this, yes, I remember. Okay. And then we get a first shadowy appearance of a Cobra specialist who, yes, will be who we will reveal later as Destro, which, again, if you had any knowledge of the cartoon or the toys or anything in this era, you knew it was Destro. So, uh, yes, I'm guessing Destro. I mean, they kind of made Cobra Commander. Was it this issue or one of the upcoming? He makes the comparison. He's like, "Oh, if I'm General Flag, then he's Hawk." I'm like, I don't know. Mysterious man in a mask. I don't know if it seems like they're almost trying to set Destro up as like Cobra's Snake Eyes, which and then they kind of give him like a. Oh, we'll get into it. We'll get into this here because yes, we're gonna get more and more Destro. So again, I believe I'm gonna title this on our podcast, our YouTube channel, CapesandLunatics podcast YouTube channel, as the rise of Destro, because we're getting a lot. We'll get more and more Destro. All right, so let's get to the next one. G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, number 12 from June 1983. 3 strikes for Snake Eyes. Looks like on the same writer, penciler, and inker. Colorist this time, Glennis Ween. Letterer, Joe Rosen. And editor, Dennis O'Neil. Mr. Dennis O'Neil. And this time we get, a scarred Cobra officer. His first appearance, who we will call Scarface, coming up here. And the return of someone else. The Joes are chasing a Najahana Video Corp van in San Francisco filled with Cobra agents. After they disable the vehicle, a scar-faced Cobra officer escapes, and they discover the Cobras had video game circuit cards in their possession, marked for shipping to Sierra Gordo. Stalker and Breaker head to the Najahana office in that country, while Snake Eyes and Gung-Ho serve as backup. Let's see. Snake Eyes recognizes Doctor Venom, who tried to extract information from him before, and heads to the office. Yes, for those you don't remember, yes, Doctor Venom put him in the brainwave scanner back in issue 10. Editor's note. Gung-Ho follows, but bumps into the scarred Cobra from San Francisco. After a fight, the Cobras capture the Joes and take them to the river dock. Dr. Venom starts to beat Snake Eyes and leaves him for dead in the burning office. The villagers witness Snake Eyes on fire running out of the building, but he jumps into the river. On the Cobra's boat, Kwinn and Dr. Venom argue, and Quinn's role in the operation is revealed. The boat reaches an island where the Baroness awaits them in a bunker. The Joes escape their bonds and take the upper hand against their captors. Snake Eyes arrives and tells lets the Joes know to leave with the computer chips while he neutralizes the threat. The scarred Cobra officer is assigned as the courier for a virus that Dr. Venom has developed and the serum that will mutate it further. The Baroness and the officer escape on a seaplane, but the Joes jump overboard from the boat in time to avoid being blown up. The seaplane circles back towards the island where it fires another bomb, blowing up the island with Snake Eyes, Kwinn, and Venom still on it. The Joes swear revenge on the Baroness. Yes, and in the aftermath, the Joes believe that yes, the Baroness has killed Snake Eyes, Kwinn, and Dr. Venom. So, Kwinn returns from issue 2. So, 10 issues later, we get the return of Kwinn, who's going to play a big part here coming up. So, just keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that, man. And again, this is going to start a running plot point here, like up through like issue 19. Yeah, with Snake Eyes kind of off on a side thing here, and with Kwinn, and Dr. Venom. So, yeah, this is going to be a big thing. Yeah. And again, a sign of when this was written, all these, what did they call them? Circuit cards for video games. I mean, I guess your platforms still have circuit boards in them, but I don't know. I didn't know if they were talking about cartridges, which are kind of the most we have, like, discs now. All right, let's get on here. Again, sorry to rush through these. We have 10 issues this time again, and we will next time also. And then the first Transformers one will be not quite as big, but quite as big. But like I said, by like episode 5 or 6, yeah, I'm gonna kind of carved down the quantity of issues covered. So, all right. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero number 13 from July 1983. Last Plane from Rio Lindo. Uh, Again, same writer, penciler, and inker. This time, colors Bob Sharon, letterer Joe Rosen, and Dennis O'Neil editing again. G.I. Joe members Gung-Ho, Breaker, and Stalker survive an attempt by the Baroness to bomb their boat in Sierra Gordo. Stalker is injured and unconscious, but later wakes up in a research station formerly held by Cobra and is greeted by Breaker. The team builds defenses, and traps are observed by a group of mercenaries. Gung-Ho makes his way to a radio station to send a message to G.I. Joe headquarters for a rescue. Meanwhile, Cobra headquarters, Cobra Commander explains to Baroness why Scarface stopped her from finishing off the Joes and left clues to their next plan. Which Cobra Commander kind of had him like hypnotized to do all this. The Joes receive the message and mobilize a rescue team to Sierra Gordo. At the research station, Breaker finds a pouch with a clue for their next plan. The Joes are rescued by their team and leave just before the Sierra Gordo militia could close in on them. Stalker gives Hawk the clue they found in the Cobra research station, a microdot, which could be the only clue they have to track down the Baroness and Scarface and to find out what Cobra is putting in motion. And from what we see, everyone assumes Snake Eyes is dead, but yes, there seems to be a lot, and Kwinn, but it seems like there's a pounding on the bunker that, once this island was blown up, is resting at the bottom of this river here. But yes, the microdot is supposed to be a trap for the Joe team, but as we'll see, yes, it's kind of, there's a double cross going on here. So again, we're kind of getting into, subplots starting to get subplots going for multiple issues here. We're starting to get plots and schemes and character motivations that are going to go past, one issue at a time. So, again, none of it bad, but I believe this is where Larry Hama starts hitting his stride with this book and starts building it up into the over 300 issue masterpiece that we know today. So, yes, I believe this is the first big leap that Larry Hama takes to making this book his own. So that will span 40 some years. All right. On to issue 14. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 14 from August 1983. Destro attacks. Larry Hama, Mike Vosberg, and John D'Agostino are still here. Colorist Christy Sheely, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Dennis O'Neil still. And this one is revealed that Kwinn, Venom, and Snake Eyes survived the bombing and are trapped at the bottom of the river in the Cobra bunker. Back at G.I. Joe HQ, a microdot found at the Cobra research station in Sierra Gordo is decoded and shows a map of Vermont with a town called Springfield. The Joes head out to attack Springfield, and Cobra Commander takes a rocket there to test the toxin on a willing Cobra subject. However, the toxin kills the volunteer, revealing Venom's double cross. The Joes arrive in Springfield but are ambushed by Destro and his squad of troopers, and Cobra Commander and the Baroness escape in the rocket. And again, this is kind of a setup here because, yes, this is Springfield, Vermont. This is not the Springfield where Cobra has their headquarters. And again, like I mentioned last episode, I believe the reason Springfield, Larry used Springfield as the name of the town is because I believe that the fact is that there are more towns named Springfield in this country than any other town name. So, yes, so it could be anywhere. So, yes, at least we know that, yes, the Springfield in Vermont is not the Cobra base, but yes, any of the other ones are. And half the time I hear that now, I think of you just see Homer Simpson dressed up in like a Cobra Viper uniform or something. Thank you. Yeah, and again, we're gonna get to here where Doctor Venom and Kwinn and Snake Eyes are gonna have to work together to escape the sunken bunker. And yeah, and yes, Doctor Venom double crossed Cobra Commander. So he wouldn't try to kill him, which he seems like he kind of did. But yeah, Doctor Venom's like, oh, there's a catalyst he had to add. He had to add to the toxin, so or it wouldn't work. It would just kill this host subject. So yes, none of these Cobras trusting each other, and can you blame them? All right. I know I'm kind of flying through these. I'll kind of, again, like I said, there's a lot going on here. So once we get to the end of these, yeah, I'll kind of do a big summary. All right. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 15 from September 1983, Red Eye to Miami. Again, same writer, penciler, and inker, colorist Andy Yankas, colorist, letterer Rick Parker, and editor Dennis O'Neil again. This one, the Joes continue their search for Cobra's ultimate plan. Snake Eyes and Doctor Venom, who survived the bombing, are captured by Cobra troopers masquerading as rebels. Venom convinces them to spare his life as he's the only one who can fly a plane, and Kwinn, who is presumed dead, emerges from the water and shoots the Cobras, preventing Snake Eyes from killing Venom. Later, the trio takes a plane from the airfield, but they are chased by the tower personnel who suspect the plane of being skyjacked, because it was. Venom advises Snake Eyes to blow up other planes to ensure they won't be followed. The plane takes off but loses its main landing gear. Venom asks Kwinn to take the controls while he studies the flight manual, but Kwinn warns him against any betrayal. Venom radios at someone, and the plane is attacked by another plane that was not damaged. Venom retakes the controls and switches on all running lights, which blind the other plane's pilot and make him crash. At Cobra headquarters, Destro and Baroness receive Dr. Venom's message, learning that he is still alive and offer to help him. Meanwhile, at the pit, Stalker reports to Hawk that the fire destroyed all traces of whatever was in some glass valves in Vermont, but they know the main object of the experiments, printer's ink. Low over the Gulf waters, Kwinn, Snake Eyes, and Venom encounter some smugglers who shoot the plane and hit the fuel tanks, causing it to lose fuel and altitude. Venom orders Kwinn and Snake Eyes to dump everything that isn't essential to flight and navigation to reduce weight, like the radio, guns, ammo, seats, etc. The plane lands in Miami Beach where the cops arrest the trio, but the Cobra lawyer who was awaiting Dr. Venom frees him while Kwinn and Snake Eyes are jailed. All right, so yes, a lot going on here. Most of it, Kwinn, Snake Eyes, and Dr. Venom's flight to freedom. And yes, Destro and the Baroness. Yeah, we keep getting little glimpses and hints that these two share like a common history. Uh, Again, not revealed yet. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if they ever do reveal this. Again, it's been years since before I've done my reread here, kids. So yes, this is hopefully this is as much fun for you as it is for me. Yes, like rediscovering this after many years, decades even. So all right. And yes, the printer's ink, which we will discover, is the same kind used for the U.S. Treasury uses to print currency. So has something to do with that toxin and printer's ink. All right, let's keep moving here. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 16, from October 1983, Night Attack. Larry Hama, Mike Vosberg, and John DiAgostino are back with colorist Andy Yankas, Joe Rosen, letterer, and editor Dennis O'Neil. The G.I. Joe team is tasked with stopping Cobra from poisoning America's money at the source, the Bureau of Printing and Engraving. While Hawk tries to convince General Flagg to take action, Cobra Commander plans to use Major Bludd to kill Destro, while each member of Cobra has their own agenda. Cobra aircraft attack the Capitol building as a distraction, while Dr. Venom and Scarface try to carry out the poisoning at the Treasury building. G.I. Joe thwarts their plan, but Cobra Commander captures 3 Joes and takes back the toxin. Cover Girl and her Wolverine vehicle save the 3 Joes, and a firefight ensues. Baroness crashes her HISS tank and is trapped with a broken leg. While trying to escape, Cobra Commander must decide whether to kill Destro or Hawk, and ultimately chooses to shoot Hawk. This ends with Scarface escaping and vowing revenge on Dr. Venom. All right. So yes, The Joe team is growing here, like you just heard. We got the first appearance here of Cover Girl and Tripwire, and in the Wolverine vehicle. Yes, that Cover Girl. Oh yes, yeah, we got Major Bludd. I'm trying to remember. Did we get Major Bludd before this issue? But yes, within these issues, we get the first appearance of Major Bludd. So, uh, who seems like I guess he's a poet in these because he says something to certain people in these issues about writing a poem for them after they die. So yes, a psychopathic, one-eyed, I'm assuming, poet. Yeah, pretty cool cover on this one too of Hawk and Destro, like kind of fighting it out, both with pistols in their hands, and Cobra Commander with a gun pointed at both of them. But yeah, once again, the snakes at each other's throats, like Scarface and Doctor Venom. And again, we really didn't even know here, was Cobra Commander going to try to shoot Destro and not Hawk. So, all right, let's keep moving here. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, number 17, Loose Ends. From November 1983, Larry Hama, Mike Vosberg, and John D'Agostino are back. This time with colorist George Rosis, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Dennis O'Neil. So yes, our creative team is kind of stabilizing here. Again, we're kind of like swapping colorists every so often, but yeah, remember in those first 10, man, we were really flipping and flopping the creative teams. It seems like we're kind of settling into like a steady creative team. Maybe that's another reason that's helping Larry, is just like, yeah, there's more consistency in the creative teams, so that helping the creative side of it. Like I said, these ones I believe, yeah, 11 through 20, better than 1 through 10, just because, again, I think Larry Hama is really getting into it, really making this thing his own. So, wow, man, our list of G.I. Joes just keeps growing. All right. In this one, yeah, so last time Hawk was shot by Cobra Commander and is taken to a hospital in critical condition. The Joes focus on finding the Hiss tank carrying Cobra Commander, Destro, and Doctor Venom, but they manage to escape. The Commander convinces Destro that Major Bludd is in love with Baroness and tried to kill Destro. The Joes spot the tank, but Cobra reinforcements arrive and a firefight ensues. The Joes are victorious, but unable to stop the transport helicopter from picking up the tank. Grand Slam and Stalker monitor a toll booth where Major Bludd takes a bus hostage. Grand Slam takes down Bludd, who reveals that Scarface is also on the bus. In Miami, Snake Eyes and Kwinn escape from jail and head towards Scarface's hideout. They steal a Cadillac and raise the stakes in a game with gamblers. Yeah, that's where they get the Cadillac, the pink Cadillac. At Bethesda Naval Hospital, Bludd is taken in for his injuries, but he pretends to be unconscious and takes a nurse hostage. Hawk is also in the hospital, recovering from his injuries. Kwinn and Snake Eyes reach a bridge while Scarface takes a cab to Coney Island. A doctor informs Cobra Commander and Destro that Hawk is alive and Bludd has been captured. Destro swears he knows Scarface's hideout in Coney Island. All right, so yeah, a couple wild cards here, like Major Bludd. Is Destro going to kill him? Is he going to take a shot at Des? Because again, Cobra Commander playing everyone against each other. So now Destro, I assume, believe he bought the lie that, oh yeah, Major Bludd's in love with the Baroness, and who knows whose side Scarface is going to end up on, since it seems like pretty much half the Cobras have tried to kill him at this point. But yeah, big stuff coming here. And again, I love how the Kwinn Snake Eyes thing just keeps rolling. Again, it's been how many issues already? So, all right. So, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, number 18 from December 1983. Destro returns. Larry Hama, Mike Vosberg, John D'Agostino again. George Rosis is back. Letterer Edward Norton. I'm assuming not the actor. Especially how old this issue is. All right. And of course, Dennis O'Neil back as editor. Uh, right, sorry, my screen was flipping and flopping here. Uh, At Coney Island, Stalker notices a plane with the Cobra insignia. Hawk confirms the presence of Scarface, who had sent a postcard calling him there. The Joes engage the Manta while Destro observes from the plane. The Joes follow Destro to Scarface's coaster utility shed. Scarface tries to kill Destro with the coaster, but he blows it up. Kwinn and Snake Eyes interrogate Scarface, who reveals Dr. Venom's location. They give Scarface the keys to a Cadillac, but Destro intercepts him. The Joes pursue them, but an explosion from the Cadillac stops them. Destro and Scarface hijack a plane to Libya and contact Cobra for a pickup. The Joes follow and discover the Cobra base, Mizda. Scarface overhears a plan to use him as a biological weapon against the Joes. The Joes intercept a Cobra convoy and rescue Scarface, taking him to their headquarters. However, they fall in the Cobra's trap. Yes, because Cobra has implanted him with this virus that, yes, will make him deadly to be around within 2 weeks. So yes, they want the Joes to take him. So yes, it seems like the Joes are falling into that perfectly. And again, the whole Scarface, Doctor Venom, Kwinn thing is about to come to a head here next issue, kids. So yeah, I love these running plot points. And again, it's like every so often, it's not too much, but yeah, Larry Hama's introducing new characters, which I'm assuming when they get introduced to the toy line and stuff. But again, besides that, Larry Hama's really going off the script. That's what I love about these early Marvel comics, G.I. Joe and Transformers. It's like they really don't follow like the cartoons, like word for word. Like in the G.I., like the Transformers. The cartoon. Oh, humanity knows the Autobots are their friends. In the comics, it's like no, they're like what? They're all just robots. They're all just dangerous. And here, I mean, just all the plots. I mean, Snake Eye. Oh, God, even as we get later on into the series, I mean, Snake Eyes, as awesome as he is everywhere else, I mean, he gets so much more heat in this series than he does in like the cartoon and stuff. A lot of these characters do. And plus, and there's, you know, new characters in here you really don't get much of in the cartoons. Like some of them are just caricatures in the cartoon, but yeah, I mean, Major Bludd, Destro, Scarface, and Doctor Venom. I don't think they're really big things anywhere else. So, Larry Hama originals. All right, let's get to GI Joe number 19. Joe Triumphs. From January 1984, we are in 1984. Larry Hama, Mike Vosberg, and John DiAgostino are back. George Rosas is back on colors. Letterer Rick Parker and Dennis O'Neil. Editor. Gung-Ho is supervising the construction of a fortress at Fort Wadsworth while Doc and Snowjob transport Baroness, who has been injured, saving Destro. General Flag and Hawk discuss Scarface, who has revealed Cobra's plan to slip an infected Trojan horse into their base. Hawk informs General Flag, of his plan to use a public quarantine to protect the real base. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander celebrates the discovery of the Joe Seeker base and orders a full-scale assault. Kwinn and Snake Eyes attack Dr. Venom, but they are interrupted by the incoming Cobra choppers. The Joes set up Claymore mines under the ambulances while Major Bludd and Scarface are cuffed to the vamp. The Joes race against the incoming missiles and make it into the fortress, which withstands the attack. Snake Eyes is captured and forced into a snake armor, which is sent into battle against the Joes. The Joes ultimately defeat Cobra, but General Flag is killed in the process. Yeah, so much more going on here too. Because General Flag, General Lawrence J. Flag dies here. We get a couple deaths in this because Kwinn dies trying to get to Doctor Venom, and then yes, Doctor Venom and Scarface are kind of wrestling around. So yes, two Cobras basically take each other out because Doctor Venom shoots Scarface, but then Scarface drops the live grenade he had in his hand, taking out Doctor Venom. I wonder if this was always Larry Hama's plan, or I wonder if some of this is just clearing the board for some you know, new established characters that we're going to be getting on later on here. Like Doctor Mindbender will take Doctor Venom's place here eventually. Uh, but yeah, lots going on here. And again, working up like they make this prefab fortress thing, which kind of looks like the GI Joe toy headquarters. That we get for your action figures. So yeah, Larry Hama kind of sneaking that in, which is I thought was pretty cool. And again, eventually the pit's going to move here because it's not going to be under Fort Wadsworth. I don't think. I think that eventually they move it out elsewhere. But uh, so yeah, Cobra Commander thought he was all fancy here, finding their headquarters. But yeah, they had yeah, the Baroness, who's basically all burned. They said she had third-degree burns, but yeah, she's all wrapped up like a mummy. They had Major Bludd locked in a cage, who escapes from Doc. Yeah, kind of hits Doc and escapes the cage and stuff. And yes, General Flag gets taken out, which I believe, again, I haven't read ahead yet in my reread, but I believe this is where, General Hawk's going to kind of step up to become the new General Flag, and we're going to get Duke introduced because, as I said last time, in these first 20 issues or so, yeah, it's kind of like General Hawk was kind of used in place of Duke, where, in every other franchise, like the cartoon and stuff, you would have had Duke. So, I think we're close to getting Duke here. All right. Get to the last one. G.I. Joe number 20. Kind of a fill-in because it's not in Larry Hama and it really doesn't deal with like anything from we just covered, like the General Flag death or any of the other deaths or anything. So it's kind of like mostly solo Clutch story. All right. This one, G.I. Joe number 20 from February 1984. Home is where the war is. This one written by Stephen Grant, who, yeah, I think he did a fill-in or two last time when Larry Hama wasn't on the book. So this one might just be, like the dreaded deadline Doom. Penciler Jeff Isherwood, inkers John D'Agostino is back with John Tartaglione. Colorist George Rosas is back. Letterer Rick Parker is back, and editor Dennis O'Neil is back. And I thought this cover looked familiar. Yes, it looks like a John Byrne cover of Clutch, like, yes, falling out of a plane. Or off a jetpack. Clutch and his team complete a successful training mission, and Clutch is rewarded with furlough papers. He travels to New Jersey to visit his friend Billy, who works for a car company. However, when Clutch overhears Billy talking angrily on the phone and follows him to a top secret room, he discovers that Billy is working with Cobra. Clutch is captured and used as a test subject for Cobra's new jetpack technology, but he manages to escape and rescues Billy's family. The Joes arrive and shut down the Cobra operation, and Billy thanks Clutch for his help. So yeah, this one, yeah, like I said, it's basically a solo Clutch story. With him showing his bravery and quick thinking as he fights off Cobra troops and saves Billy's family. All right. I'm just reading from the synopsis here. The theme of loyalty is also explored as Clutch believes that Billy's being forced to work with Cobra rather than willingly betraying his friend. Overall, the story shows the strength of the Joe team and the determination to stop Cobra's evil plans. And I feel like I need to end that with, and knowing is half the battle. All right. Like I said, good story, good art, good writing by Stephen Grant. But again, it's a fill-in. Doesn't deal with anything that we've been dealing with here for the last 9 issues. Like I said, I wonder if it was just like a favor or something. Was there a deadline for Larry Hama? So yeah, one of the few issues of this, again, modern day. This thing is over 300 issues, and I don't think Larry Hama's missed more than a handful, maybe. I guess we'll find out together, kids. Stay tuned. All right, so like I said, sorry for throwing a ton at you this time. In future episodes, we will get a lower issue count. Again, I don't want to bore you endlessly with me just rambling on. But yes, next time, yeah, we'll do 10 again. We'll do 21 through 30, including including the Snake Eyes silent issue. Again, everyone, even comic fans who aren't really G.I. Joe fans, know that Snake Eyes silent issue. So we're going to get there next time. Yeah. And like I said, again, now Larry Hama has really hit his stride. Yeah, things are just going to keep getting louder and crazier and more excellent. So I cannot wait for that. But yeah, send me your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of these. Let me know what you thought of the first 10. Again, I don't mind reading from, be like, oh, this is what we covered last time or 2 episodes back. Or again, next time I'm doing 21 through 30. So send me your thoughts. I know someone watching this has thoughts on that Snake Eyes silent issue. So please send me your thoughts. Even if it's just, hey, I had this when I was a kid. I loved it. I wish I still had it, or I still have it. It's slabbed. But yeah, just send me random Joe thoughts. And again, send me random Transformers thoughts, because episode 4, we're going to get to the Marvel Transformers stuff. We'll do the first 8 issues on episode 4. So if you want to get ahead of the game, send me your thoughts on the first 8 issues of Transformers. So it'll be here by the time I do it. All right. So yes, so send me all your thoughts on G.I. Joe and Transformers. Email CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can always find everything we do, Capes and Lunatics. Again, the majority of the stuff we do is superhero, Marvel, DC. We was straying to some Image stuff and other companies, especially Image. We do another monthly show. I do it with my friends Justin the Owl and Russell. We cover the Energon universe, where we're covering the new stuff Image is doing with Transformers and G.I. Joe. So check that out. And also stay tuned here on the beginning of June. We're going to have an interview with Kelly Thompson, who's writing the Scarlet miniseries. So yes, right after issue 1 comes out, Kelly Thompson is going to talk to us about Scarlet. So yes, you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned. Again, you can find it right here on this podcast. Just easiest way is subscribe. It'll show up in your feed, or the YouTube channel. Again, well, subscribe to both, please. But yeah, the YouTube channel, it'll be here. It'll be on the podcast. So however you got this show, yes, it will show up here. And again, but yes, you can find all our episodes, our social links to our social media, links to merchandise. Yeah, please help support us, help us bring you all these excellent shows we bring you by buying some merch. New t-shirts, new cups, phone cases, a lot more hats with brand new Capes and Lunatics logos. There's 3 new logos, so please help support us there. Or we have a random Cash App link, Capes and Lunatics. So please help support us if you want to be really generous and just send us money. Or the Patreon. Subscribe to our Patreon. We always try to do something different there, but it's completely uncensored. So, it's absolutely bonkers. Nothing's off the table. We can talk anything there. Never know. Last year we did worst superhero movie brackets, where we did a full year of bracket style. What was the worst superhero movie of all time? And we got to a, shall we say, winner. But yeah, all the old content is on there. We give you new content at least once a month. So yes, please subscribe to our Patreon. You can find everything I just mentioned, links to everything at tubespace.ao/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.ao/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. And again, if you ever want to find anything and you can't find it, our social media, our Patreon, anything, just email me, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. I answer the email. I can point you in the right direction. Especially if you want to give us money. Yeah, I'll definitely point you in the right direction. All right, kidding. All right. But yes, it feels weird. I usually have a co-host with me, and now we do their plugs. But no co-host. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. Got the rise of Destro. Major Bludd is now a thing. Cover Girl and Tripwire here, and Gung-Ho. Saw the death of Kwinn this time. Snake Eyes is really going to start hitting his stride here, and Larry Hama. All right. So come back next time for G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, 21 through 30, and then Transformers 1 through 8, the episode after that. All right. Yo, Joe.